you can replace this by doing it other ways. For instance, you can replace it poorly by following the editors and agents' blogs. This is something that I would highly recommend that you all be doing anyway. You should be looking for their blogs. Or do you say?
How do you find their blogs?
Trial and error and searching and.
Because I've tried that, and I'm not an idiot, but
yeah.
I can't find.
They're not terribly good at publicizing them.
Okay.
But if you get onto like one of the industry blogs, some of them blog anonymously, and you can just follow those blogs. But if you get on one, they'll often have the blog roll on the side. You can kind of click on the others and start figuring out who people are. Patrick Nielsen Hayden, who's an editor at Tor, runs Making Light, which is mostly a left-wing political blog. So if you happen to be left-wing political, you're going to love his blog. If you're not, then, yeah, but it is his blog. Joshua, my agent, runs a blog. I think it's linked on his website. I think it's probably awfulagent.blogspot, but it might be like Grillig Blogger or something. I don't know. He uses all sorts of different things. I've got it RSS, but I don't know what it is. Look on his website. It'll mention his blog somewhere, I think. Follow their tweets, their Twitter. I mean, my editor, Moshe, has a Twitter feed. He doesn't update regularly, but he also has a Facebook page that he does. And, you know, they're almost all going to have something like this. I don't know, because when I broke in, these things didn't exist. And so I wasn't following them. Blogging exploded. When did blogging explode? It's like 5 or 6 years ago that blogging's like, boom, blogging! Maybe it was as early as like, 2000, but I don't think it was, because in 2000, like, Google barely existed in 2000. I broke in 2003. I started going to cons in 2000, and they were very useful for me. But anyway, all right. So you can kind of replace these things a little bit poorly by doing this. You can also replace them by reading the books that the editors and agents have worked on. Okay? This is harder, even harder than the blogs, because you have to find out what they're working on. But if you can figure out what they're working on and read those books, you can start to judge whether or not you're a good match for that editor or agent. Every time I say something like that around my editor or agent, they cringe, because they're like, I don't want them to look at the books that I've published and just give me something like that. I will publish, if it's awesome, I'll publish it no matter what. That's what they say. Realistically, they will tend to have certain themes that they like. Joshua has a certain type of book that he really enjoys and gets behind. That's my agent. And if it's not that type, even if it's an excellent book, he won't choose to represent it. So being familiar with the type of books that Joshua represents can be very helpful for you. So, knowing the names of the editors, I think Tor's editors are all listed on Wikipedia. Learning the names of the different editors, reading their books, being familiar with them, at least can give you a bit of a leg up. If we go back to our hypothetical people sending books, submissions to Tor, and you are the editor and you get one that is, hello, hey, dear Patrick Nielsen Hayden, I really like Cory Doctorow's books. I know you edit them, and I've also read your blog, and you mentioned this and this and this, and I've been very impressed with you as an editor. I was hoping you would be interested in my book because of this and this and this that matches what the sort of thing that you seem like you would like. Of course, write it more professionally than that, but sincerely, Mark. As opposed to, dear editor, here's my book. That one is gonna mean a little bit more to you. Now, as soon as you can replace those with some serious credits, you would want to, but the only real ways to replace those with serious credits without publishing a novel is to do short stories, which I don't suggest if you are not a short story writer. If you don't read them, if you don't write them, then pursuing that venue, despite what the old guard would say, is not going to be very productive for you. Old guard will say, go write some short stories, get good at this business, and then you will then get published. If you're good at it, if you like it, if you read them, go for it. It is a good way to get your foot in the door. If you don't, Do not spend the next 10 years learning to write short stories so that you can get a novel contract that you haven't practiced writing novels in order to make use of, okay?